Hello, folks. This is Wager Detective here, and we're going to be capping this Monday Night Football game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Indianapolis Colts in what is going to be an absolutely fantastic game, low-key fantastic game to finish off a great Week 16 of the NFL. Let's get into it. Please, if you can, please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Wager Detective is growing. And all your support is appreciated. If you like the video, if you like the content, if you think that I should change up some things, if you'd like to see me do things a different way on how I present my format or what I talk about or things to talk about, please let me know. Drop it in the comments. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Let's get into this cap because this is exciting. Okay, so first thing the Wager Detective likes to do, we're going to look at the history, the Colts and the 49ers. And as you can see here, the Colts are 5-0 in their last 5 versus the 49ers, which is pretty amazing. In those 5 games, the 49ers are minus 12.8 points per game, and the average score is 38.8 points per game. So that's off the jump. And if you look, it isn't going back that many. A lot of people don't like looking at trends like that. I'm not saying this is the end-all trend of how I cap a game. It's just a part of the equation. I'm taking probably 5, 6, 7 things, an odd number of things, and putting them all together to piece the case file together and come up and try to put the puzzle together. So that's number one. Colts 5-0 in their last 5 against the 49ers. The Colts as well are 13-8 home all time at home on Monday Night Football. But they are 2-8 in their last 10 overall on Monday Night Football. Okay? If we talk about the 49ers, they are 8-2 in their last 10 versus the AFC on Monday Night Football. But they're 5-5 in their last 10 overall, and they're 6-5 in their last 11. They're 2-3 in their last 5 overall on Monday Night Football, minus 0.2 points per game between their plus minus, and the average score in those games are 49. Over their last 11 Monday Night Football games, they're averaging about 46.4 points per game, and they're plus 7.1 between their plus minus, plus 7.1 points per game there. Okay, we also could get into the 49ers road December. They're 4-5 in their last 9. They are minus 3.44 points per game in their last 9 road December games. The average score is 47 points per game. They are 2-3. The 49ers are 2-3 in their last 5 road December games, minus 6.4 points per game between their plus minus averages per game, and the average score is 50 points per game. Now the Colts in their last 5, in both these teams, I went back to 2021 to grab these stats. The Colts have only played 5 December games since 2021 at home in December, and they're 4-1 in those games. Average score is 48.2 points per game, and they are plus 4.2 points per game average and 44.2 points per game scored in those games. So 49ers 0-5 in their last 5 versus the Colts. Colts 4-1 last 5 December. And, you know, people can say what they want. You can find a stat for anything you want to build your case for what you want it to be. But I kind of navigate towards not only what I kind of feel or what I want, but also you're laying it out there. Yeah, the 49ers 8-2 in their last 10 versus the AFC Monday Night Football. That's going back many years, but they're 2-3 in their last 5 overall. So everything kind of melds into a situation to find a probability that you're leaning towards. So we'll leave that there. We're going to get into the cap here, and we're going to look at the 49ers and see what they've done this year. They're having a fantastic year. Listen, at the end of the day, they're 10-4. They were doing a lot of this without Brock Purdy. And if you look what they've done, they've won 4 in a row. But if you look at the competition, again, you have to factor that in. You're 4-0 in your last 4 games, but you played Arizona, Carolina, Cleveland, and Tennessee. All those teams are not going to make the playoffs. Carolina is fringe, possibly. And you played Tennessee last week, and Tennessee did put up 24 points on you. Okay, so let's leave that there. Cleveland and Carolina didn't put up points against you. They averaged 8 and 9 in those 2 games against those 2 teams, and Arizona put up 22 against you. So they are 6-2 on the road. We can't ignore that. 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2 on the road this year. But when it comes against teams Houston, they lost that one. Playoff team. Tampa Bay, that loss didn't age well. You lost that game. You beat the Rams on the road, that's positive, and you beat the Saints on the road, that's great. And then you caught Seattle in the beginning of the year. So they're a good team. I'm not going to take anything away from the 49ers. All I know is the Colts are getting 4.5 here, and my ears perk up when I think about that. And if we get into what they do well, they do have, look, offensively, they got 19 turnovers on the year. The 49ers offense has 19 turnovers a year, and 13 of those have come by interception. Now, defensively, they only forced 14 turnovers, so they're -5 in the turnover category. Now you're going on the road against a Colts team that we're going to get into that they don't turn the ball over. And, you want to keep in mind with that. Let's take a look at the 49ers stats here. I know I'm being a little bit biased going into this video, and you probably already know where I'm going to go with this by the end of the video, but I'm going to still lay the stats and the facts on the table. You look at the 49ers 10th in yards per game, yards overall, they're 10th, but they're 18th on defense, so they give up yards just the same. They do have 25 passing touchdowns, but their opponents have scored 25 passing touchdowns on them, so they got a porous defense through the air. Rushing, they have 12 rushing touchdowns, puts them 21st in the NFL, but they've only given up 9 rushing touchdowns. That puts them at 3rd best in the NFL. Now that will be tested tonight against Jonathan Taylor, so factor that into your cap, guys, okay? If you look at what they do, average drive, you look at the time per drive, plays per drive, yards per drive, and points per drive, they're top 10 in all those categories. But if you look at their defense, they're bottom half of the league in all those categories except points per drive. So they're a bend but don't break, middle of the pack, red zone, average drive team as far as giving up points. Okay, now we know they're coming off the home game against Tennessee. They're second in the NFL in third down conversion percentage, converting 49% of their third downs, and they're 13th in the NFL in defense in giving up the third down 38% of the time. Red zone percentage, 63% is very, very solid. 34 touchdowns and 54 red zone attempts. And then defensively, they're middle of the pack. They've given up 25 touchdowns and 44 red zone attempts for their opponents for 57%. So teams are scoring on them 57% of the time once they get into the red zone. Now, we look at who's the quarterback. We started with Mac Jones, and then and then now we got Brock Purdy back. But if you look at Brock Purdy, he's got 12 touchdowns on the year. But look at the interceptions. He's got 7 in only 6 games. You're starting to see regression from a quarterback that everybody was high on. The last pick in the draft in the 7th round from a few years back. He was that very last pick in the draft, and he had that monster year, and he was great, this, that, the other. But in 6 games, he does have 7 interceptions. Okay, you can't deny that. He does have a fourth quarter comeback and a game-winning drive. On the ground, we know what the 49ers are doing. Christian McCaffrey leads the way. He's got 9 rushing touchdowns of the 12 for the 49ers. And then receiving, we look at who's catching the ball. McCaffrey does have 345 touches from scrimmage, which leads the NFL. That's the bold lettering there. And then if you look at receiving, they got a couple guys. Juwan Jennings, George Kittle, and Jake Tonjes and Christian McCaffrey all chipping in for touchdowns for 25 receiving touchdowns on the year. Kickoff and punt returns, not really gleams there for either team for the 49ers there. Kicking, okay, Eddie Pinheiro is your kicker. He is 25 for 25 field goals made, 100%. 25 of 25 field goals. The guy does not miss. He is 6 for 6 from 50 plus and 9 from 9 from 40 to 49. So the 49ers do have a field goal kicker. If it gets late, it's a close game, he's going to put you in a good spot, especially if you got to kick one from 50 plus. Okay, he does have 61 kickoffs, and 14.8 of those are landing for a touchback. He's got 9 touchbacks on the year. Punting, Thomas Morstead, 14 games, 43.6 yards per punt, That's not really that great. But 50% of his punts are landing inside the 20. Okay? Defensively, we know they've been banged up all year. They only got, look at that, folks. Come on, stop. They got 5 interceptions on the year. 5. It's like, that's so minuscule. Absolutely minuscule. Sacks, they got 16 sacks on the year, guys. Listen, at the end of the day, you can say what you want. Those numbers are absolutely like, I know they've been dealing with injuries, but you got to factor that in. They got 5 interceptions and 16 sacks on the year. That's like, I don't know if it could get any lower than that. They got 53 tackles for loss, and they've only touched the quarterback or quarterback hit 48 times. That's going to be the cap of this game right here. Because against the Colts, you're not going to touch, you're not even going to get close to get an autograph, to touch them, to shake hands with Phillip Rivers here. You're not going. That offensive line of the Colts is one of the best in the NFL. Make no mistake about it. Okay. Now, if we look at this and we see what's going on, that's the cap for these guys. Now we look at the Vegas lines and see what they've done. Okay, they're 8-2 when they're favored this year. 8 wins and 2 losses against the spread. That's pretty solid. That's actually that's. But let's take a look at the teams. You beat Cleveland. That's a game you covered against. You covered against Arizona. You covered against the Giants. Okay. You covered against Atlanta. You didn't cover against Jacksonville. Good team. You didn't cover against Arizona. A bad team, horrible team. You covered against the Saints. So all your covers are coming against. The only one that you could give them a little bit of credit for is this one where they covered against Seattle. But the line was 2 and they won that game, but they didn't cover the line that's set tonight, which is 5.5. They dropped to 4.5. So even in that game, they didn't cover the spread. But all these other ones, they're covering that 4.5 fairly well. But against teams that are nothing like the Colts. Okay, so let's put that into equation. Now we're going to go to the other side. Let's go to the Colts here. Colts having a fantastic year here. They've been riddled by injuries. They're sliding, guys, but the slide is going to be talked about. They're 7th in the NFL in yards. They are 20th in touchdown passes with 20. But they've only given up 18 touchdown passes. So there's a big discrepancy there. The 49ers are horrible pass defense, giving up touchdowns, whereas the Colts are top 10 in the NFL giving up passing touchdowns. Let's take a look at the rushing. They're 2nd in the NFL in rushing touchdowns. They have 24 of them. That puts them at 2nd best in the NFL. 24 is ridiculous. It's unheard of. And the 49ers only have 12 rushing touchdowns on the whole year. The Colts have doubled them. They doubled up on them. Now, you look at the rushing touchdowns they've given up. They've given up 13. They've given up one more rushing touchdown than the 49ers have scored all year. That puts them right in the middle of the pack at 15th in the NFL. Now, if you look at what they do, average play per drive and yards per drive and points per drive, they're top 2 in yards per drive, and they're 4th in the NFL in points per drive with 2.72 points per drive. Very solid. Now let's talk about this slide, because this is a part of the cap that I just can't help but ignore. If you look at the last 3 weeks, take a look at this, guys. I'm going to highlight this here for you. They played the Texans, the Jaguars, and the Seahawks. I don't care what anybody says. You know, when you look at those 3 teams, you're looking at 3 of the 5 top best defenses in the NFL. There's no question about it. You can't deny it. Those are 3 of the 5 best defenses in the NFL. That might be top 3, depending on what order you want to put it in. I would say Houston's number 1, Seattle's number 2, and Jacksonville's number 3. Okay? So when you look at that, you're not playing that tonight against the 49ers. You're not playing that type of defense. I mean, and if you look in their last 4 games, in their 4 losses, they covered the spread 3 out of the 4 times. So they're covering 75% of their losses the last 4 games, which is 4.5. Right? Factor that in your equation. Okay, so now we look at what they do. They're top 10 offense in third down conversions. 10th. They are 24th in giving up the third down conversion, but only 41% of the time. So that's not bad. Now you look at the league rank offense in red zone percentage. They're fourth in the NFL in red zone percentage, getting in there 65% of the time. Now if you look at their defense, they're top 10 in defense in giving up the red zone touchdowns. So they're absolutely solid there. Now, if we look at what they do here, look at this. Look at this. Jonathan Taylor leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns with 16 of them. He has 73 first downs, which leads him there as well. And if you look at that, you start saying to yourself, well, how are the 49ers going to come across and make a difference here when they can't rush the ball? They have a quarterback that's not necessarily somebody that can scare you. And you're dealing with a Hall of Fame quarterback. I know he's coming off the couch, but Jonathan Taylor leading the NFL in yards per game with 103 yards per game. Alec Pierce, yards per reception, 20.1 yards per reception. And we know Philip Rivers can still sling it. Now, you look at touchdowns from scrimmage. Jonathan Taylor has 18 touchdowns from scrimmage, leads the NFL. Daniel Jones, 9 fumbles this year, but he's not playing tonight. So kickoff and kick returns, nothing there for the Colts there to really glean. I want to look at their kicking game. We know Eddie Pinheiro for the 49ers is good. Let's see with Spencer Schrader. 13 for 14, not bad. 1 for 2 from 50 plus, 2 for 2 from 40 to 49. Those low numbers tell me that the Colts have been so busy scoring that they don't even think about kicking field goals. I mean, those are low numbers. Even 30 from 39, he's only had 5 attempts. So it tells me right off the bat by looking at those stats, that the Colts find ways to score. And you could say that Philip Rivers is old, but I don't think that Daniel Jones will ever touch the numbers that Philip Rivers does now in his career. He'll never touch the numbers that Philip Rivers does as a quarterback. He won't even come close. Now, if you want to say that he's been out of the league for 5 years, that's fine. But all I need him to do is control the game, manage it. Their defense is good. And let's take a look at the defense. Okay, interceptions, they got 12. We already know the 49ers got 5. So they're already better than them in interceptions. Forced fumbles, 9. Sacks, 36. You looked at the 49ers, they got like 12 sacks on the year. These guys got 36. They're like tripling up on them. Tackles for loss, 73 and 88 quarterback hits. So they put pressure on the quarterback. Guys, I'm gonna cut this cap real short. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm going with the Colts tonight. I'm going with the Colts. Plus 4.5. I think that number's way off. I don't think you can change a line that much. Even if you do change it to backup quarterback, I would say maybe 3 tops. But I'm getting an extra 1.5, and that's tops. The Colts cover this game tonight. I would not be surprised if they won the game. And I think this game goes over. You got garbage time. You got the fact that I think the Colts are going to get in the end zone once they get down there. I expect Jonathan Taylor to have a big game, the Jersey kid from Vineland, New Jersey. He's right, he's right up the street from where I, live, in Atlantic City. I'm going to go with the Colts. That's going to be Wager Detective's pick here. 18-minute mark here, 6:54 p.m. from Atlantic City. Wager Detective is calling the Indianapolis Colts to cover the 4.5. Do not be surprised if they win this game. And I like the over. Let's take a look see what that total is. I want to touch on that one more time. Take a look here, see what we got. As far as the total, 46.5. Yeah, give me the over. So my stronger lead, Colts plus 4.5, and then the over 46.5. This is Wager Detective. Hit the like button and subscribe. Be sure to follow everything Wager Detective does. He drops gems. He does the cap, and that's the cap for you on this game. Colts plus 4.5 and over 46.5. And I'll talk to you soon.